Welcome back to Sneaker Impact News. I'm your host, Bryan the Botanist, and today I have a special interview with Calista Ariel from the Low Impact Alliance, or LIA. The Low Impact Alliance is a global collective of retailers, athletes, and brands advocating for a more sustainable running industry. The LIA exists to call people in, not call people out. In line with their mission, they created the Better Bins program. The Better Bins are a recycling center that equipped retailers with the opportunity to provide their consumers a place to recycle shoes, clothing, socks, and nutrition. Calista started working with the Low Impact Alliance in late 2022 and supported the creation of the Better Bins, and now is a coordinator of the recycling program. She comes from a background in run specialty and currently works for one of the major running shoe brands, which is how she got involved and made aware of the LIA. On a personal note, it's been exciting and inspiring to team up with the Low Impact Alliance over the last year at events including Runchella Chicago, where we cleaned the Lakeshore Path, the running event in Austin, where we did the trail cleanup in downtown Austin, and their new Better Bins program, which just debuted. So the LIA is one of our partners, and the people behind the company like Calista are the ones helping drive the partnership. So we want to introduce them to our community and get to know them better. Welcome, Calista. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me. We're super stoked to be here.
Awesome. Where are you joining us from today?
I am currently in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and lucky for me, it's very sunny here today. So it's a great day.
Awesome. Sunny in Michigan. Yeah, I'm from Wisconsin originally, so we're both Midwesterners. Tell us about the Low Impact Alliance. What type of services does the company provide? Where are you based? Who are your clients and community?
Absolutely. So the Low Impact Alliance was created a few years ago in to respond to the mass inability for sustainability efforts within the run specialty industry. Our founders saw so many areas that could be improved. And so they created this collective of trying to call in retailers, brands, consumers, runners, anyone who's involved in the industry to try to, one, educate more, be advocates, and then take on initiatives. So some of what the Low Impact Alliance does is we do roundtables to help educate brands and retailers on how they can be making a difference, how they can further push the agenda within sustainability and circularity in the run specialty industry. We also do plugging events and things like that. And we just also started the initiative with the Better Bins to do a full circle recycling program. But in the grand scheme of it, what our scope is anything and everything sustainability. We also partner with TRE to be their environmental partner, which TRE is the running event. And we are always looking for how to better become more, but one-stop shop for everything from education to advocacy.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys have made big waves in the industry. I didn't know. I just all of a sudden heard about you guys at Runchella. Have you heard of the Low Impact Alliance? That was almost a year ago, and we instantly wanted to get involved with you guys. So it's been fun last year. Tell us about your role specifically at the LIA.
Absolutely. So I started off as a member of the LIA, just supporting any initiative or any of the logistical concerns that I could. Because it's a non-for-profit, there's so many things that need to get done on the back end, from even just putting together education materials, putting together infographics, social media, calling people in by communication, all under the move, anything that a corporation would need to do, but within just a group of people who are passionate. So I started as a member alongside some really excellent people as well to try to just help out in any way that I could. And so I got put onto the committee to start this Better Bins program. And basically from everything down to getting copy, educating people, trying to garner those partnerships is what we helped develop throughout this past year. And so now as the coordinator, I work with everything from creating the infographics, trying to see how we can market it, communicating with accounts, and making sure the whole program runs smoothly.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you guys are in full startup mode. Sounds
Yeah.
familiar to what we're doing here at Sneaker Impact, doing a lot of different activities every day. And it's really exciting to get to know the LIA better because you guys are a young organization similar to Sneaker Impact with a big goal. What got you specifically you started in recycling and your interest in sustainability? Was it something as a child? I always like to ask this question about
Yeah.
where did your
Well,
interest start in this?
it's so funny because I think back to a memory on I was maybe in first grade and Earth Day. And I remember going around and trying to educate everyone about like how important it is to recycle as what, a 7-year-old or so.
Yeah.
And I think I've always been interested in trying to protect our world and what we have and understanding the implications of everything that we do. So it's always been an interest of mine. As an adult, I'm a huge advocate for the outdoors. Love to spend my time outdoors and between backpacking, hiking, running, just even being outside is just so important to me. And you really start to see the implications of what that is with everything from where trash goes, and you think about where does this end up? And I was a part of a group back in high school called Local Cafe, where we basically worked on a global and local level to see how we can make change between education, a lot like the LIA, but within like hyper local in the sense of who's involved within my schools. I think anytime that I've been aware of how important sustainability is and the effects of it and climate change understanding. I think it's just important to be a responsible global citizen. And I believe as a global citizen, this is between anything sustainability from social sustainability to making sure that we recycle, try to find reuse, reduce, finding ways to help clean up the local community. All of that, I've always aligned very much within my values and the people that I've put myself around. So it's always been something that I felt social responsibility with.
That's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like similar again to Sneaker Impact. Like when you mentioned the word social, we are categorized as a social enterprise. And it sounds like the Low Impact Alliance. Are you guys a nonprofit technically, or are you?
Mhm.
Okay. So
Yeah,
then,
we're
yeah,
a nonprofit and we are in the final stages of finalizing us as a 501c. So
awesome.
uh,
Yeah,
be
yeah, you're
a
probably
1% for the planet
yeah.
ability
Okay.
to donate.
Okay. Is that a B Corp or is that just a different program? Because I've heard of both. I think the 1%. Do you know exactly?
I'm not 100% sure on
Okay.
that. That would be more of our founders' mystic. But
Can we give a shout out to Christian and his sister Carrie?
yeah, he's one of our founders and he's been great at helping to pioneer this. He was the one who really started the Better Bins program. So he's been excellent. I contact him daily on questions. So he
Hmm.
is so integral in everything LA and really awesome because he and his sister had started this as a result to from what they saw in the industry. So it all started with them.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask because your personal story of sustainability and then the brand's sustainability origin story.
Yeah.
Christian, I met first through the Runchella event last year, and he is the store owner or the family owns the Palmetto Running Company in Hilton Head, and they
Yeah,
have
him and
two
his sister.
stores. Yeah. And they
Yeah,
just
him and
won store of the year in the entire US at the running event in Austin out of like how many running stores out of thousands in the US. They were chosen as the best at the most important event of the year for the running industry, the TRE, which was so cool. I got to go over to your booth. I'm not sure if I met you there. It was so busy. Um, did you get to go?
Yeah, so I was at TRE. I was mostly with I work for the brand Saucony in addition to
Yeah.
this. And
Mhm.
so I was supporting Saucony there. And then whenever I could pop by
Okay.
over to the LIA. So they really held down the fort.
Yeah, it was busy there. You got the LAA was right by on, and then I was over by Hoka at the Sneaker Impact booth. We
Oh,
had a
sweet.
Yeah, I got to go over and speak a little at the LIA booth to mainly the staff, but also a couple of curious people. And yeah, it was just getting to know the team. They had a great team there. And yeah, we want you guys to come visit us soon in Miami.
We would love to.
We can open the extended invitation. Our founder always says that he will personally house you. He has housing that he Airbnbs. I can say that. And he's offered it to all of our friends when they come visit us and go to the Heat game because he's got tickets for you.
Oh,
He
we
tried
will
to get
take
into me
you
the
up on
other
that.
night. Yeah, I couldn't go. But he has tickets at the Heat, and so you guys can go. Anyways, let's get back to the questions about sustainability goals of the Low Impact Alliance. What are your goals? What's your
So for the Betterment program, the main parts of what we're looking to do with this program is create a system that is in place for when full circularity is ready. for one of our partners is Recover. They're a 360-degree loop. So they are providing some great circularity there. For the TerraCycle will upcycle our nutrition packets.
Okay.
So that's really great because we're diverting it from landfills and creating something even better from those nutrition packets. And then partnering with you all in diverting from landfills and eventual recycling. So we want to create that system. It's also really important with establishing social norms of when you buy a product, knowing where the end life of that product goes. So creating that visibility is huge about this Better Bins program, but also creating a need for circularity. So if brands see that, or if store owners see that people are really interested in this sustainability, they're going to go to brands and be like, hey, this is a value of our community. We want you all to participate in this as it's a value of our community. So then brands will hopefully adapt even further because at the end of the day, the biggest topic of sustainability you hear is people on an individual level saying that the biggest adaptation has to be from brands, corporations, just the individuals and places that are doing huge business. And I agree on that. That is where policy changes are going to be important and where most of the changes are going to happen. Because if someone provides a product that is full circularity, people are going to buy that if it's accessible. And right now, sustainability is not accessible. So if we start making it more accessible within the run specialty shops, people are seeing it as a value. Individuals have such an important role in swaying what those corporations do, because at the end of the day, and what the brands do, it comes down to money and trying to sway those consumers. And if the consumers are yelling from the rooftops that they're not going to buy a product, that they only want sustainable products, that they want to see these initiatives happening, that they care about the environment, the brands are going to adapt. And I actually just had a conversation with someone yesterday about this, is looking at sustainability and circularity right now, in some ways, from a brand and corporation level, is pretty expensive. From an individual level, if you're not trying to replace a lot of the products, sometimes it's as simple as using what you have. So it can be pretty cheap to be sustainable there. But also buying hyperlocal can be helpful. Buying within your region, buying produce local, those can also be cost savers there. But sometimes it's not as accessible to everyone. And so that's when sustainability doesn't exactly become accessible to most. That being
Yeah.
said, is
Yes.
right now is sustainability from a corporation level is pretty expensive
Mhm.
because these things aren't established. Products to create sustainability are aren't re- are not. It's a supply and demand.
Yeah.
So if we're creating a new system, we're
Yeah.
creating new bins, and all of anything that encapsulates what goes in it, creating new systems, engineering new ways, that's all extremely cost intensive.
Yeah.
But if brands will eventually distribute those costs instead of from mining raw materials to having super efficient systems for sustainability, the cost shifts from creating the product to reusing, recycling those products. So we're in that system of sustainability super expensive now. But in the future, if those ways are pioneered and they're put into place, sustainability can be much less expensive. So we're trying to help create that system, start the visibility, create the accessibility for everyone, but get people used to putting things in bins, getting people used to looking at what they can recycle, getting people used to understanding that, looking at what they're buying. Because, for instance, if I know I can recycle cotton and polyester, I'm probably more likely to buy cotton and polyester then versus something else. Or if I know that I can reuse this product for 10 years, more likely to buy that product. So being more conscious consumers too. So the Better Bins is so important in so many ways in creating that visibility, in addition to creating those systems of circularity.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop and the runner shop for runners to bring their stuff to recycle. I'm hoping to see electronics in there eventually. I was telling
Yeah.
Christian, a bin for, we're going to put up a photo right at this point in the podcast throughout you talking about it, of the Better Bin itself. It's 3 or 4 different sections for different things that runners consume or buy and use. We all are consuming on a daily basis. And when we're done with it, rather than it going in the landfill. The better bins is getting it back into a circular economy where the raw materials can get reused, where it can get disposed of properly or recycled or upcycled. A lot of times it's given a second life by someone who wants it. Or some of these things like the nutrition that the better bin is using, they haven't even been opened. It's nutrition that someone didn't even want. It's not like it's open nutrition, right? It's sealed up. But even if it's open, you'll probably take it. But same thing with us. We take all qualities of shoes, even the end of life. But okay, so that was awesome. We really went over you guys' goals. I think we even talked about some challenges you're facing. Are there any other major challenges you want to mention and big problems you're trying to solve in the running industry's waste? That's what you're all.
Yeah. The the big thing, the one challenge is overcoming how big of a problem it is. So we're trying to start small, bite it off. 22 billion shoes end up in landfills each year, and especially within clothing, that doesn't include textiles and stuff like that. So that's a huge problem that we're tackling as the Low Impact Alliance. But also the cost of sustainability, like how I talked about it there, is it's hard because trying to find places that do sustainability and circularity and who are working in the same values as we are within the industry are hard to find. It's few and far between, and a lot of them aren't able to partner with us because of the costs and or have a lot of strings attached because of that. So that's something that we're facing. Another thing is the understanding from the level of consumers, from brand levels. So the education's a key piece, but people don't understand sustainability as a whole and what that all encapsulates, even all the facets of sustainability that you could be targeting. And so we are seeing, like, even in the past 3 years, of how fast knowledge of sustainability is growing and
Sure.
visibility of sustainability, but many people aren't understanding of what it is and in the concept and how you can tackle it, and just a lot of misinformation about it. And we also face a lot of the greenwashing.
I was
And
gonna bring up that word, yes.
yes, and
Companies
so
use that to for marketing.
absolutely. And being in an industry where it's very
Yeah.
branded, it's money focused, trying to get visibility from a marketing perspective and things like that, I think it's okay to be vocal about what initiatives that you are doing, but people are so scared, and people at brands, these big corporations, are so scared sometimes to say what they are doing, or they say too much, and use it as a way to sell things instead of a way
Sure.
to call people in. And there's an understanding of that from a brand perspective. And we don't want to call people out, but we want to call them in on how they should go about it. What is the proper way to do it? What you can educate on. And the biggest thing is transparency. We just want you to be transparent on what you are doing. And that sometimes means being like, hey, we have work to do here. And this is where we would like to be, but we're here. But the goal is to be here, and here's how we plan to do this or take the steps in the right direction. Because taking these huge gulps is what we all want, right? We want it to be, if we could snap our fingers and change it for tomorrow, that'd be great. But
Yep.
realistically, great goals are small goals, or a big goal turned into small goals that break it off piece by piece. And when we look at the big picture, that's what we have to do. So any little step, and even if that's just having the conversation, sometimes is a huge step with brands to talk about sustainability. And then we also are finding sometimes it's hard to get people on board. If, like how I talked about right now, financially, it's not always the best option.
Sure.
And so that's something that we're just like banging our heads against the wall because they're like, why should we do this? And I'm like, because you have global responsibility. And that's something that we've been facing a lot of, and just the lack of understanding of how important this is and all the ways that we can be allies in this is very difficult. And trying to get people on board. So the way we tackle that, though, is trying to make it as accessible and easy as possible. We want to try to make this option even easier and more beneficial than any other option that you have, which is really difficult. Like, one way you can look at this is if someone has a trash can and then the recycling bin is 5 feet further away, most people are honestly probably going to just throw it in the trash can. And so trying to make this as visible on people's minds, transparent as possible has been pretty difficult, and garnering support from a vocal level is amazing. People are so excited for sustainability and everything on, but from a more wholehearted perspective of like when actually investing, asking someone to do something a little bit further, that's when the problems can start to arise. So we're working through it, and it's a great learning experience. And I think that every year that we're around, it's going to get better and better. And we're already seeing it getting better, but that's something that is on our minds constantly. And we do have to sometimes take a deep breath because it can get frustrating because you're just so passionate about something and want to see it change, and you can see how it changes. It's just like right in front of you.
Absolutely. Yeah. There was a lot you covered there that we keep going into. We have to limit our time here we're going to have you back in the future. We're going to do field trips. We have some really cool. I want to just go through some kind of rapid fire questions here if we can, the last 5 minutes. So is there a cost to getting involved with with the Better Bins program for the stores?
The Better Bins program right now is free. We
Okay.
do have where currently with our pilot program, where having to do orders with Recover and maintain like an active status with the brand Recover due to honoring their 360-degree loop. So the outlets that they take from, they also have to give back to, and that's providing product. But we try to provide a lot of ways for retailers to be able to try to fulfill those orders. And we're working through alternatives to try to make it as accessible as possible. But right now it
Yeah,
is
great.
free. We are only doing the pilot right now for 15 stores.
Okay.
And
I was going
then,
to ask you, yeah, how many stores? 15.
yeah. And then
And
later in the year, we'll add more.
okay. And it just launched what in November officially, at TRE, November 30th ish
So we launched it at TRE. The
at TRE.
bins are going to be landing in stores this month
Hmm?
in February, and then we'll have it run throughout the year and hopefully indefinitely. You can find more information on it on our website at the Low Impact Alliance, and the Better Bins
Yes.
uh, part of our website will be able to show you where retailers can sign up and where you can learn more.
Cool. So your brand, the organization has been around for at least a year or two, in my understanding. I've known about you guys for a year, but now you're launching this big program. So it's really exciting to have you on and to see you grow. And it's a big industry. And as you said, we're not the giant conglomerate corporations of the world. We're brands that are just growing from the infancy, but we're making an impact. And Sneaker Impact, for the record, is the shoe recycling and footwear
Yes.
recycling partner of the Better Bins program. All the shoes that go to the running stores that are the partners come to us, and then they get upcycled, recycled, or grinded depending on their condition. And we're gonna and when you mentioned transparency earlier, that's what we're doing today by talking about this and getting to know the people behind the brand. And this podcast in particular is interviewing a lot of people who work for the company in the exporting and also in the relationships and partnerships, and just anyone we meet, because we meet people from all over the world and they're all involved in the recycling and running industries, which are coming together now. And like you said, this is a video hopefully that some store owners will see and want to get involved and learn about the LIA. So tell us, we have a couple more minutes. Tell us a little bit more about Calista as a runner and what you
Yeah.
do in the running industry besides Sneaker Impact.
Absolutely. I have been a runner since I can remember. I ran collegiately and then post collegiately. I was a distance runner, mid distance runner. And as I was running post collegiately, I needed a job to be in the hours that I would need to train. So run specialty shops worked great. So I started working at a shop called Run in Greenville, South Carolina. And then I quickly moved up, helped starting manage the shop. And then I was approached by one of the reps at Saucony that said I'd be a good fit to be one of the field marketing reps for North and South Carolina. So I applied, and then the rest is history. And now I help manage our West team for our field marketing team. So traveling around, doing product education, educating our reps, helping with the marketing strategy and all of that jazz. But I've I still am very involved in the running world, but I've moved more towards like movement. In addition, I still run, I will say that, but more towards movement. And I really like being a part of the community that helps inspire people to move, rock, walk, run, any of that. And I spend a lot of my days hiking and going on long walks and running with friends when I get the chance.
It's awesome. And you're currently living in Michigan, but I think you said you're moving in the next couple of months. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I just moved from Raleigh to Michigan, and then I'll move again eventually.
Yeah.
In this summer, I'll move probably out west more, so it'll be fun.
Yeah. Come down and see us in Miami, and we'll see you at the Run Summit. And it sounds like in St. Louis, you'll be at the Run Summit, right? In May?
I'm
That-
hoping to be yes. Yeah.
yeah. We just saw that announced, and we want to be a big part of it again. And it's been, I think, like, go down a little bit more on this. I wanted to ask you, outside of sustainability and running, if you have any other passions you want to share that you are really into.
Yeah, I'm really passionate about backpacking. I'm passionate about carpentry.
Oh my gosh, okay, carpentry.
Yeah,
That's
I'm passionate about my background is health education, so big sleep nerd. My partner is a dietitian, so anything trying to get people healthier. So preventive health is very big on my board. And I'm very passionate about yoga and probably against sleep research. I'm a big nerd on sleep research, even though I don't always follow it.
okay. Yeah, I try to turn my phone off after about 8 or 9 o'clock into do not disturb mode and turn the light down
Rather
and
than I.
put it about 6 feet away or in another room. Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
There's so much. Okay. Any last thoughts you want to share with the Sneaker Impact audience today?
Yeah, I would just say that if the Low Impact Alliance interests you, you can become a member of the Alliance and go to our website at lowimpactalliance.com. We have many initiatives. You can follow us on Instagram to see some of those. We do blogging and things like that. And we'll have many more coming down the line as we go through the year.
And you guys are 100% driven by support from donors and other types of fundraising, correct?
Yeah, all of us, most of us are donating our time to be a part of this and be a part of the alliance. And so it's really awesome because it's cool to see how many people who have a value and interest have come together who are super passionate and have separate talents in so many different ways, from knowledge of sustainability to being able to market to just being passionate, have come together, and we're starting to really push the Low Impact Alliance forward. And it's really cool to see how all of that has come together.
Totally. Well, you guys are taking the industry by storm in a good way, in a green way. It's been fun because I actually heard just about you guys even before I met you. And have you heard of the Low Impact Alliance? Like, just people were talking about it, and it's like the small David up against the Goliath, in my opinion. So it's pretty cool to see. And all the brands like Asics, we can give it, and Saucony. Asics really got behind the plugging, so I can throw their name out there. And Nathan, I'm not beholden to any brand, but I've been
Absolutely.
seeing On become more sustainable and other brands really pushing sustainability. You want to give a shout out to anyone real quick?
I think we did the plugging with A6, which was a huge success at the running event. John has been a big partner with the Low Impact Alliance. Christian might be able to provide more insight, but I believe that Hoka Go has been great. And we partnered with Nathan at the running event too. So those are just a few of the names, but we're trying to get in contact with any brand and every brand because, like we said, we want to call people in, and any support is absolutely amazing. It's been a
Absolutely.
really great year for us.
Awesome. So we're going to share some links of how people can stay in contact with you below in the description, the Low Impact Alliance on your website, and then look at the Better Bins program specifically. And they can connect with you on LinkedIn, Calista.
Absolutely. And if
Okay.
they have any
Awesome.
questions, they can feel free to shoot me a message on LinkedIn as well.
Okay. We'll put that in the description. All right. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Calista. I hope that's how we say it in Miami. Calista, come visit us. I hope to chat with you more in the future. Good luck with all of your projects and goals at the Low Impact Alliance in Saucony. And thanks for all your hard work.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for all that you do and partnering us. We are so grateful for this partnership. So we're really excited to see it play out.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.